So Bob Schieffer says that what President Obama has done, taking on the gun lobby, is akin to defeating the Nazis. It can be done, and it's worth it. That's unbelievable. That's your opinion from CBS News. That taking on the Second Amendment, defeating the Second Amendment, is as important as defeating the Nazis or Osama bin Laden.
What happened in Newtown was probably the worst day in this country's history since 9/11. We found Osama bin Laden. We tracked him down. We changed the way that we dealt with that problem. Surely finding Osama bin Laden, surely passing civil rights legislation as Lyndon Johnson was able to do, and before that, surely defeating the Nazis was a much more formidable task than taking on the gun lobby. This is a turning point in this country, and the president is going to have to do more than just make a speech about it. This is one of the best speeches I've ever heard him deliver, but it's going to take more than that from the White House. He's going to have to get his hands dirty. He's going to have to get in there and work this problem until he gets it done. But
this is unbelievable.
Unless we figure out a way to make sure that something like Newtown never happens again.
Never.
We're not the country that we once were.
No, you can't make sure
right.
that something like Newtown never happens again. I don't care what you do.
Hate to break it to you.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
You can't.
Impossible.
This is how
Guarantee
out of
that.
touch our media is with reality. This is how in the bag they are with the destruction of the Constitution. And he absolutely believes this. And everyone around him, there's nobody in his ear going, Bob, shut up, Bob. Time to up the medication, Bob. Shh, Bob, quiet. Nobody. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the coverage last night on the what is it, 23 executive orders, 22 executive orders?
23.
And so I know what the Blaze said, but I don't know what the rest of the media said. I know that the reports from the media, by the time I went on the air yesterday, the reports from the media were, it's not so bad. Have you read these things? This is a progressive time bomb. First of all, I'm going to authorize the CDC to do a study on guns and gun safety in America and its effect on America. Well, what do you think the CDC is going to come out and say?
I think they're going to say it's a sick culture, and it has nothing to do with guns. And the problem really lies in the home. And maybe parents should pay more attention to their kids.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to say. Don't you?
Say? No, I don't. No.
Wow.
Here's another one. He has now allowed the government to go around HIPAA. What is HIPAA? What is that for?
Isn't that the privacy protection thing that Hillary jammed through?
Mm-hmm. It's HIPAA, and it makes sure that it protects that nobody, including the government, can get any of your records.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Your privacy with your doctor is just that. It's paramount and it is private. Well, now the government can go around HIPAA. So now what does HIPAA do? HIPAA prevents you from seeing your children's information. That's all it does. Because now the government can see it. You just can't. So anything that the doctor says about your kids or anything that's going on with the kids, you can't get any of the information from your kids because they're protected under HIPAA. So all of the protection now is not on the side of the consumer. The protection is to make sure that you don't have access to anybody, but the government has access to everybody's. No thanks. No thank you. He also has now deputized all of our doctors. And now the doctors have to decide, should this person be carrying a gun? The doctors have to decide. The doctors have to report. If my doctor asks me, do you have any guns in the house? I'm going to say, go to hell. Well, I'm required to ask this. Then I'm required to answer this way. I moved to Texas. I'm proud to be a Texan. Maybe you should grow a set. Are you a Texan or are you a stooge? Are you a doctor or are you a policeman? What are you?
Someone trying to follow the law in their business, right?
Good.
I mean, I
see you later.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. The doctor situation in this country has got to be redesigned. They have so screwed up our healthcare system, and nobody even knows it yet, There is no way these doctors, I know a lot of doctors, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And what'll happen is they'll go under more and more pressure. They have to do it or they'll be violating the law. Why would you be a doctor? So what does that mean? So now your doctor becomes a policeman. What does that mean for your health care? What does that mean? What are you going to have open conversations with your doctor anymore? You can't trust your doctor anymore because there is no HIPAA anymore with your doctor. No, thank you. The things that this president has done in executive order, they're time bombs. They're progressive time bombs.
We're talking about it as it's progressive foundation building.
Yes.
It wasn't this thing where he went out and said, we're coming tomorrow to take all your guns.
No.
What it was is it set the precedent for we're going to get a study that says guns are dangerous. So next time there's an incident, we can come take all your guns.
Oh, no. They've done that. But they also said that the federal government needs to go back and look and see to make sure that there aren't people that have guns that shouldn't have guns. So go back and look at the studies and make sure that we don't have dangerous people having and owning guns. Well, you've already got those studies. How about the one in Missouri that says people who are members of the Tea Party, people who voted for Ron Paul, all those people, they're dangerous. You already have that study from a state organization in Missouri. Why can't you just cherry pick and say, you know what, we have a couple of studies here, and it shows these people for the Tea Party, they're dangerous.
Yeah, and of course, they'll cherry pick against the people they don't like.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. This is the way progressives do it. Make no mistake, what the president did was stomp all over your Second Amendment rights. He has stomped all over your private conversations with your doctors. He has made the situation in this country much worse, because if there was anybody who had some sort of psychiatric problem that, had access to guns, they are certainly not going to the doctor or not being taken to the doctor until the very last minute. How much more trouble is this country in? How much more danger are our children in because of what he did yesterday? I contend a lot. And then we're living in a world where, you've got Bob Schieffer saying that the NRA are the Nazis or Osama bin Laden. And then on top of that, you have a media that can't even tell you if Carson City, California even exists. There's another story about what the fantasy world that we live in, to where somebody can make up a story about, you know what, I got a girlfriend and she died and I was with her and she was suffering with cancer and all of the press reports it, including the New York Times. Everybody reports it. This is not just a sports story. This shows you how far gone our press is and really how far gone we are.